What's going on, everyone? My name is Nicholas Merton here at DataDash, and today is February 11th of 2021. Well, folks, I hope you all are having a fantastic day wherever you are. And in today's video, we've got to talk about Bitcoin. Do we have some more room to grow up to $50,000 here in the next 3 days? I want to spend some time to talk about that, as well as the raging rally in altcoins here, and talk about what I personally believe we're just at the early phases of this, and then it's going to go all the way into the month of May. And last but not least, talking about some really important developments and news in the crypto space that is showing yet again the amount of demand from corporate treasurers and companies abroad in buying cryptocurrencies as an asset class. We're going to be diving into all this and more right after our quick sponsor. Our sponsor for today's episode is Shrimpy. Shrimpy is the social trading platform for cryptocurrency. Traders can sign up for Shrimpy and start making money by becoming a leader that other investors can follow. Once you've selected to lead a group of investors, input the amount you would like to charge based on assets under management or performance. Each month, Shrimpy will automatically charge your followers so you can get paid. When an investor follows your portfolio, they will copy the same trades you make on the exchange or through the Shrimpy application. Sign up for Shrimpy today. Alrighty, everyone, so let's go ahead and dive straight into the market here. Taking a look over the last 24 hours, Bitcoin and Ethereum relatively neutral over the last 24 hours as they recently set an all-time highs. However, we've got a different story in the broader altcoin space. We've got many cryptocurrencies in double-digit territory to the upside. One of them, and the leaders in this case in the top 100, being the Graph, a crypto we bought recently in the Dash Report group, up 65%. 65% in the last 24 hours, up over 125% here over the last 7 days. And they're not the only crypto. There's a ton of other cryptocurrencies, some old legacy plays, as well as some new emerging DeFi plays in green territory here leading the market. So if you've got that focus point here overall, even though we do have some plays on the red or some plays cooling down here, if you've got that focus on DeFi, enterprise blockchain, the infrastructure plays, similar to what Chainlink has serviced in the Oracle space, you're doing fantastically well in this market for the broader sense of things. Now, I want to go ahead and just answer this question here that I think a lot of people are curious about. A lot of people are wondering, Nick, you've been calling for 50K Bitcoin in February. Are you still holding to your guns on hitting that big even level and possibly charting higher? I have to tell you guys, I don't want to go too far as to say what's going to happen beyond 50K, but I'm very confident we're going to hit this level very soon. And this is not only a good gain for Bitcoin in this case, but it's a very practical one to see. And the reason why is we've got vertical momentum here after this first initial part of the major rally breaking above the all-time highs. We can see here that the correction is not lasting long. And to be honest, we've got a ton of time left for the month of February. This was our initial projection. We were talking about this back here when it was 34,000, and we got that vertical push a lot quicker than expected due to Tesla. And Tesla is really the factor here that is going to change the game for the broader crypto space overall as a whole. And it's not just for Bitcoin here. I mean, again, we have to consider, guys, that there's a lot of room for Bitcoin to continue possibly growing, or at least test some of those big even levels like 50K. There's also a lot of other room as well for altcoins in this space with increased liquidity and optimism in the crypto space. Just take a look at the projection we've had here, drawn up for some time here on the channel. Again, ever since we got the first initial week or two of rebound off of this historic support for altcoin dominance. So turn out the logarithmic chart just to see it more clear. We got that support rebound here, altcoins gaining a lot of optimism with increased liquidity. And what's really nice here is that if we take it to the daily, we can see here that after Bitcoin had its leap up, it took some dominance away from altcoins. Altcoins are gaining it right back. Valuations are soaring to levels we have never seen in the cryptocurrency space. And again, if we're considering here the overall total market cap, right, for the broader crypto space, we can see here that we've blown past the all-time highs. It's going to take a second for the chart to load here. Go ahead and bring it here on the weekly. Again, we got well above here the total market capitalization for cryptocurrencies. But most of this has been done through Bitcoin, as it initially starts out as. If we take a look at the secondary metric here, total 2, take a look at this. We just barely stepped above the all-time highs from back in January 2018 for altcoins. Take a look at the logarithmic chart. You guys think we're bullish yet? You think we've hit the peak just yet? I don't think so. This had been years in the making, guys. And what's so great is that people are starting to really realize that, unlike the last time around, and of course there is speculation, there's all types of things that are playing a factor into the way price is moving. but there's actually some sense of fundamentals. There's some narrative here that actually makes sense, and it's decentralized finance. And I'm so excited to see the broader ecosystems as a whole kind of rallying around this value proposition. I think some are doing it here to chase the trend. They want to be the edgy project that's doing what's cool and what's hip and what's going to attract capital and investor interest. But at the same time, like, there's actually some really cool competition brewing here and building of applications. And as someone who's been building in DeFi for some time and following the space, it's really exciting to see and to think that we've got a lot more market potential here for the broader crypto space. Now, again, the broader DeFi space has been really interesting as a whole, but we've got an interesting factor here of the corporate buy-side pressure. And this is a story for both Bitcoin and the broader crypto space. We can't be silent in thinking that it's just Bitcoin that corporations are going to be picking up in the long term. It is going to be the first candidate, of course. It's seen as that corporate treasurer asset, that reserve asset that has a finite supply. It has probably the best monetary policy in the broader crypto space, and it focused as a community on servicing that one need of being a treasury asset. So of course, Bitcoin is going to be the first one that companies start picking up. And with MicroStrategy and now Tesla being the second largest corporate holder of Bitcoin, we can see here that there's a long list of companies that are starting to join the ranks here. And with Tesla joining in, this changes everything, guys. It's no longer a small, medium-sized tech company using its entire balance sheet, or crypto-based funds like Galaxy Digital, or some mid-sized insurance funds, or revolutionary or like kind of leading frontier payment companies like Square that are helping to simplify point-of-sale systems. No, it's not that anymore. It's the largest, in this case, the largest emerging automotive manufacturer in the United States for electric vehicles. Which, bear in mind, their stock has almost rallied from a couple $2 billion back in 2019 to nearly $1 trillion this year. The world is going to listen to this. And I gotta say, again, above all, like this is just cutting the surface here, guys. And what you'll start to notice here is that, again, with Tesla, how much they spent $1.5 billion to acquire this. It couldn't even get near, in this case, to what Michael Saylor and the team at MicroStrategy had purchased because they were early to the trend, right? But again, I think above all, even if people start acquiring a lower tier of Bitcoin, they're paying a premium in this case. They are that buy-side pressure. And en masse, with all these companies coming on board, people have talked about Apple possibly, Microsoft, a variety of different tech companies. I don't think they're going to be left in the dust. And with Tesla doing this, it makes it a lot more normalized, to be honest. And it makes total sense here, guys. Hey, take a look at Grayscale here, right? Above all, Grayscale has been accumulating like crazy. $35 billion in assets under management. The trend here for Bitcoin has been nothing but growth, even into increasing prices. Take a look at the ETH fund as well here that they have for their exchange traded note for Ethereum. Adding over 140,000 new Ethereum here in this case towards their portfolio here over the last couple of weeks, just the last 2 weeks. It's really exciting stuff, guys. This explains the move in price. And just to kind of show as an example here, with a total AUM figure for Grayscale being around $35 billion for their cryptocurrency products, this is putting them at a rivalry with one of the largest ETF funds, ARK Investment. They're around $53 billion. And I gotta be honest, it hasn't been growing as much as Grayscale has with their cryptocurrency-based products. Will ARK make a move into it? Will other major funds make a move into starting to acquire crypto and offer these ETF services to the people they know, trust them and their brand for their financial products? I'm really interested to see more people move into this space from traditional markets. And speaking about that in the sense of actual fundamental developments in the traditional tech space. Look, I'm again, in this case overall, I think that they're a little bit late to the party, but at the same time, this is a major move. Mastercard, as well as we know by now, a lot of major providers are starting to accept payments in crypto later this year. So we saw PayPal in this case talking about crypto adoption in some sense in different various forms. And now we've got Mastercard possibly talking about not only allowing crypto payments in their payment systems, right? So basically allowing merchants to accept crypto. But outside of this as well, there's some big important details that a lot of people might not pick up from the headline here. So we'll go ahead and I want to scroll down here. There's a certain part here that I want to focus on. So it's right here in this case. So previously, Mastercard supported limited cryptocurrency transactions through its crypto card partners WireX and Uphold. two of the kind of larger companies when it comes to debit card solutions in the crypto space. But those programs only cover payment, not settlement. The coins are converted to fiat currency well before reaching the merchant. So what we've had here is actually a net negative for the cryptocurrency space originally. All these programs like WireX and Uphold, and no badgering towards their products, they were just following with what they could do at the time, was basically taking your crypto and putting it through a matching engine, selling the crypto on the market, and on their line of credit or their line of capital, paying for the goods and services for you in this case. Something along those lines. I don't want to speak for them. I don't know the intricacies of their back-end infrastructure, but that's generally how most of these providers work. And it was cool because you got to spend your crypto, but every time you spent your crypto, it was selling it. The merchant wasn't receiving your Bitcoin or Ethereum or your whatever cryptocurrency you might be using. All right. So in this case, overall, it's very exciting to see that you may be able to actually send that crypto through and the merchant can actually receive that crypto in the currency that it was intended to be. So being able to actually receive Bitcoin for payments, scaling out cryptocurrency payments to millions of users across the world. That would be huge. And outside of this as well, they also talk about stablecoins playing a very big role in this, because this quote here summarizes, again, the mindset that many people are in. And to be fair, it's true. Many of today's 2,600 digital currencies today failed to do this. They failed to simply serve as a non-volatile currency for merchants. Merchants don't probably want to receive something that can go up 50% or down 50% in a single day, right? So again, I think that overall stablecoins are going to play a major role in this. I'm very excited to see how they continue to do so. We've been talking a lot about stablecoins, and one chart that I always bring up here, we talked about it in the Dash report a long time ago, is the stablecoin index, the total market capitalization or supply of dollar stablecoins in the market, from stablecoins like USDC, USD Tether, DAI, all these other cryptocurrency stablecoins, up to $42 trillion in liquidity now. Just back in March of 2020, we were sitting around $5.8 billion. We're going to be coming up here in March, probably, if this continues at the pace that it's at, nearly close to a 10x in overall stablecoin liquidity. Whether you look at it the standard or logarithmic chart, guys, we are in the second wave for stablecoins here. And this is the new on-ramp into crypto. It is the new way for liquidity to flow in, both for retail and institutional capital. And I'm very, very excited to see the trend continue to grow, because people usually are very negative against stablecoins, but they're actually very beneficial for the crypto space, as it's a new bridge of liquidity where you can be autonomous and own your stablecoins like you would dollars in a wallet. So it's very, very cool. Now, one thing I wanted to talk about as well here, guys, because I know a lot of you have been following it since I talked about it as I came on as an advisor to the project back earlier on in December of last year, is the Warp token and Warp Finance, a protocol that allows people who, as you many of you know in this case, who have utilized protocols like Uniswap, they're liquidity providers that allow people to actually make those swaps. And those LP tokens can be made as great collateral. Well, the good thing is that Warp Finance has not only been live in this case, where it's been functioning as of recent, but outside of that as well, today they're finally launching the Warp token. So if you guys are interested, you can check out the article through their Medium. You can check it out as well. It'll be tradable on Uniswap. So take a look into it again. We're going to be getting it listed in Digifox as well once it drops live here soon, guys. Again, one of the more interesting projects in the cryptocurrency and DeFi space more specifically, because for me personally, I think this idea of being able to build better collateral is really essential for the broader cryptocurrency space and DeFi. Utilizing, as we talked about earlier, much like in payments, utilizing volatile currencies are probably not a good solution. It's also not good to use volatile currencies as collateral, as when you have major rallies, it can be good, so you can, again, open up a line of credit, but also when things go south, it's not very good. Whereas in the case with Warp, they're able to balance using volatile currencies like Ethereum, these kind of reserve assets that are used in the DeFi space for trading and investing, and pairing it with a stable coin pair. That's what you get basically with the liquidity provider tokens. You get a nice balance where you basically need a 75% move lower in Ethereum from the time you opened up your position as an LP for you to actually get liquidated. So it's a really good system here, and I think it's going to add a whole new line of credit to the crypto space overall and open up a ton of new opportunities to tap into that value that's just sitting there. Now, outside of this as well, I've had some people ask me about PancakeSwap. It's picked up like crazy as a recent, and as you all know, I'm a big DeFi head, so I want to definitely talk about it. The thing about PancakeSwap for me in this case is that it's, and just to provide some context before I dive into it, it's basically the central #1 point for everything DeFi and the Binance ecosystem at this point. It is the third largest automated market maker, actually technically the second largest. I think it had passed Sushi in the case of volume as a recent. But above all, I want to go ahead and give the positive take and also, I wouldn't say per se the negative, but again, just the skeptical in this case. I have to say the really positive thing here is that PancakeSwap has dominated the Binance chain, smart chain ecosystem. It's really nice to see some more competition coming into this space, something that's much more affordable to the everyday user. I will give it that. And I have to be honest, I definitely missed the train on this, to be fair, guys. There's a lot of things we called right this year, but I really didn't see the Binance ecosystem picking up as much as it has. So I have to give them props in that regard. The one thing I will say though overall is, again, not to get too caught up in the hype here. We want to see if it's going to sustain here. We want to see more liquidity coming in. But I will say the one thing that this is shaped up for, especially as in this case everything is developing on the Binance Smart Chain, is it has served as a really big boost for the BNB token in this case as a potential reserve asset, similar to how ETH is kind of the reserve asset for the Ethereum ecosystem. So again, we're going to keep an eye on this as well, but there's one other crypto project that I wanted to spend some time talking about. And we didn't mention it at the beginning of the video because I wanted to give some time dedicated to talking about it. If you notice here, at the top place here, of course, CoinMarketCap has something for, basically a tribute to Tesla. This isn't actually Tesla stock or anything. You've got Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Tether, but we got a new player in fourth place here that has knocked down XRP, it's knocked down Polkadot, it's knocked down Binance Chain, Litecoin Chainlink, and that is Cardano. I gotta say to you guys, to be completely fair, again, I'm not per se have rested on Cardano. We interviewed Charles back in December of 2017. I've always liked Cardano as a project in the sense of its vision, but I gotta be honest, it seems like there's a lot of anticipation, more than I would have guessed in this case, for Cardano and the launch of its official mainnet with smart contracts. I gotta give him credit for it. It's really nice to see Cardano getting to this point, and I'm interested to see if a variety of projects move over to the Cardano blockchain, because this is probably the closest that an Ethereum competitor has gotten towards Ethereum here. And it's still a fraction of the valuation of where Ethereum is. But I gotta be honest, Cardano's gotta really impress. It's gotta bring over a lot of those players into the Cardano ecosystem. We've been seeing, again, the Polkadot ecosystem. You can even see CoinMarketCap as a section for this. Polkadot and a lot of other plays have really started to bring in a lot of traction. I haven't seen that yet with Cardano, and I'm interested to see if we will see that with the launch of the overall smart contracts on the Cardano blockchain. The critical thing that I want to talk about here is the investment perspective. A lot of people are curious, but Nick, are you buying Cardano? Are you bullish on it? Are you bearish on it? Guys, look, again, we had talked about the fact that Cardano was likely going to outpace Ethereum, especially back here in the early part of the year. It was at the lower band of the ratio, right? It was pretty obvious to go long on Cardano in this case. For me, though, again, I have most of my plays in a lot of DeFi coins that have outpaced both. But overall here, we can see that Cardano has already made some leaps and bounds against Ethereum. And only back here in December of 2017 did we break above this ratio point, this point of resistance. So keep cautious on it, guys. Don't get caught into the FOMO here. Make sure to see how it launches and see whether or not projects start to come over and give it that substantial momentum to break through this. I'm just going to be real with you guys. I have nothing against Cardano here. Again, all of these tokens and these cryptocurrencies are going to move eventually with the real fundamental narrative of what's being developed. And that's what I care about most of all. It's again why I've been a big per se ETH head in this case. It's because a lot of the DeFi ecosystem was built in there. But from my understanding, I've heard that there is going to be an ability in this case for Cardano's technology to basically allow people in the Ethereum ecosystem to migrate many of their existing projects, similar to what the energy blockchain did in this case. I completely agree with that philosophy. Make it as simple as possible to transition. But again, I need to do more due diligence on it in this case overall, guys. So I will say hats off to those who have been ADA investors for some time. It's interesting to see how it's been progressing. We'll see if it can launch off properly, break through this ratio point. I'm going to be keeping an eye on it for sure. Anyways, guys, that's it for today's video. I appreciate you all tuning in as always and listening to me ramble. If you like this video, the best thing you can do is drop a like. And if you're interested in getting started with crypto, you can always check out the Digifox wallet, a wallet that I created down below in the description, as well as possibly considering setting up for the Dash report. If you want more information on the broader markets and traditional equities and commodities and Forex. That being said, everyone, above all, I hope you're having a fantastic day. These are very, very exciting times in the market. And I'll see you all in the next video. Take care, everyone.